This is the Carty Method Podcast.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Carty Method Podcast. It is me, Steve Carty, and it's Thursday. Thursday, we look at photos that you are considering for your portfolio. Today is no different. Today, we are looking at lifestyle photographs on location. And lifestyle photography is really important. It's really an important genre to understand how to shoot if you are a people or a places photographer. If you find yourself walking the streets doing street photography, shifting street photography into lifestyle photography is an absolute game changer. My ask for this week was for you to create one image within your style in a local setting that essentially enhances the location and pushes forward a lifestyle story to potential clients. I asked for one vertical image. Lifestyle photography represents location, and lifestyle photography also represents the type of photography that is, from my perspective as a people photographer, the hardest photography to do. You're trying to shoot real people in a real location in a natural way that doesn't feel fake or staged. Lifestyle photography is a really essential niche to lock in and understand. And again, you shoot people or places, and even if you shoot things, using lifestyle photography or shooting things on location in a natural environment, cropping in on that thing is a way to shoot product lifestyle photography. Today's ask for you was create a single lifestyle image on location. So we have 13 pictures, 13 photographers to look at today, starting with Victor Liska. Victor says he saw this guy and wanted to ask, he's been seeing this guy for a while and wanted to ask him for a portrait. So shot with this Sony A7R5 with a Sigma 105 millimeter 2.8. ISO 100, shot at 1/25th of a second at f2.8. This is natural light during golden hour. This is our first photographer of the day. This is Victor Liska. Victor, thanks for submitting. Lifestyle photography on location. So Victor, for me, I think that you nailed this lifestyle photography on location. I mean, it feels like a natural moment. It's a little posed, but I definitely, again, lifestyle photography is at times a little bit of stylized reality. The light is great. The framing is great. I like how you pushed the horizon line like really low in the frame. Good focus. You can see what this looks like as a cover, which works for me. It's strong. There's lots of room for copy. There's lots of room for copy. There's room for a subheader. This works for me. And then looking at this as an 8x10, you have options as far as how you frame this. You can drop the horizon quite low like this, which works amazingly. You can also show a little bit more of the road, which again also works for me. So overall, Victor, this is a yes. This hits. This is a good lifestyle photograph that fits within your niche. I like the aspect of the motorcycle. You shoot cars. Like, this is right up your wheelhouse. I'm going to give you a yes for that one. That is Victor Liska, first one of the day. Let's go, Victor. Well done. Well done. Who's our next shooter? our next shooter is Mr. Marlon Stewart. Marlon says, this is my first time submitting. Appreciate you, Marlon. Welcome. Glad you're submitting. This was shot with the Canon R5, a 135 millimeter, shot at 1.2 at 1/60th of a second at ISO 2500. 2500 ISO. No flash, shot natural light. This is Marlon Stewart. Marlon, thanks for submitting. I appreciate you. So, lifestyle photography on location. For this picture, for me, this is like right on that edge of like between being a lifestyle photograph and being a street photograph. I can tell that you're interacting with this subject because the pose feels just a little bit static. He's not like flowing through here. He's kind of posing it. And where he's looking, I'm not really sure exactly where he's looking. I really like the location. I really like the idea. I want you to see this as a cover. I want you to also see what this looks like when it goes to 8x10. It's a little bit tight, but again, it's like, I'm sure you're new at this type of photography. This is a good swing though, for me, for your first submission. This is a good swing. You're shooting with an R5. I have an R5. The most important thing in any type of photography is light. Light will make an amazing camera look amazing. Light will also make a bad camera look amazing. Bad light, on the other hand, bad light you can't save, whether you're shooting with an iPhone or whether you're shooting with a Hasselblad digital. What I want you to see here is the noise, and this noise is because of ISO 2500 and a little bit of an underexposure. So the noise aspect that comes from shooting in a non-ideal condition with no light. So exposure at this level looks quite balanced, but the fact that you had to go to ISO 2500 and you were still shooting at 2.5, I think, again, it's a good swing, but light is your friend. You need to put yourself into situations, especially as a new photographer, where you're shooting in good, bright light, so you're not having to push your ISO up. Just to give you a guide, like, it's rare that I ever go above ISO 1000. I'm talking like ISO 800 would be like the, and if I'm using readings like this, it means that I don't have my light. I'm not lighting. I'm using existing light, and we're trying to always elevate the level of photography that we're doing. This is a good capture, Marlon. It's a good swing for your first attempt. I feel like for a lifestyle picture, taking this gentleman out of the subway and putting him on the street and shooting a lifestyle picture on the street, now your ISO comes way down. You're able to do a little bit more, and you're able to show a little bit more of the life of the scene, more so than just single person in leaving the subway. It's a good swing though. Thanks for submitting. I'm looking forward to seeing more photography from you. I'm looking forward to seeing more from you, Mr. Marlon Stewart. Next up is Delilah LeBoy. This is a first attempt at lifestyle photography. All right, shot with the Fuji X-T3 with a 40.7 millimeter. or at 40.7 millimeter, you're using an 18 to 55 Delilah. An 18 to 55 is a kit lens. I want you to know and remember, kit lenses are usually going to be the lowest quality, softest, worst lenses that any camera brand puts out. So be very wary of that. And also it involves your f-stop. I'm thinking, unless you're shooting with a 18 to 55 2.8 or something fixed like that. Shot at ISO 320 at f10 at a 15th of a second. Delilah, at a 15th of a second, natural light. Okay, let's see what Delilah LeBoy has done. Delilah, thank you for submitting. Okay, Delilah LeBoy. So we got lots of things that are not working here. This is a lifestyle picture, but you're trying to shoot a product, but then he's holding alcohol. This is a tricky one, Delilah. This is a tricky one. There's the scene, the background, shooting it at the hotel. Like, if this is the main thing, then you have to come way closer in on that watch. When I look at the watch and I see how, I just see the perspective here. The Nixon is upside down, which means if he's wearing the watch and he wears the watch on his left hand and his arm is coming in this way, well, it means like he has to have his arm coming in this way. So you read the watch the right way. Having his arm just down makes it backwards. And there's a couple, again, for me, there's the exposure. You're trying to do a lot of things in this picture, including this drink, including this. I would really like to see this just focused just here, and then maybe it's two hands and the watch. I feel like this is a bit of a miss as a lifestyle picture. I'm not seeing enough of your subject, and it as a watch picture, the watch is too far that way. There's a lot of scene that's not showing the watch, and the watch is quite small. So it ends up kind of reading like an alcohol scene, especially because it's at this hotel. So, but you can't really read that it's at a hotel because it's like a dark on dark. So there's a couple of elements here that aren't working. It's tricky to shoot product as lifestyle, as I said, especially as a new photographer as well. For me, again, this one is a bit of a miss. It is a good swing. Thank you for submitting. But again, we need to see more of the watch. The watch alone. Maybe he's taken the watch off and the watch is just sitting on the table. Maybe the gentleman isn't in the scene. Maybe it's just the watch at the bar. Maybe he's forgotten it. Like, these kinds of ideas, this becomes really, really tricky to execute, Delilah. I think this one's a miss, though. Thanks for submitting. Again, lifestyle photography on location is tricky. It's tricky. It's tricky. And your lens selection, the location selection, there's a lot of things that for me are missing in that picture. All right, this next photographer is Courtney Turner. He decided to take a different approach. Shot with the Nikon Z7 with a 35mm 1.8, ISO 250 at f4 at a 400th of a second. Natural Light Golden Hour. This is Courtney Turner. Courtney, thanks for submitting. So you decided to take a little bit of a different approach. I don't mind the approach. It's just the framing. It's just the framing. I will say it again. It is just the framing. Being in South Africa for the last, for a couple of weeks and seeing how every car commercial from every brand is shot on this like one highway in Cape Town or just outside of Cape Town, saw a lot of crazy car locations. And this is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous location. But you're not treating the car right. The car needs to move over. We need to see a little bit more of like a 3/4 on the car. The car could come further in the frame. Do you know what I mean? So I just need to see a little bit of the side of this car. I need it to be a little bit more centered. The light is gorgeous. The headlights look great. The backlighting is amazing. The location that you chose, amazing. But it's just, there's too many. Hey, Miss Natalie Shalem. Natalie just became a member. Oh. Natalie, let's get it on. I appreciate you for stepping up to the microphone and becoming a member. You too can be like Natalie and hit the join button. It's easy. It only costs $5 a month. And you get access to me and everything that I'm doing here on YouTube, even the secret streams. And priority answering of the comments and cool emotes and blah, blah. All right, Mr. Courtney Turner, I hope that you see what I see. This is an amazing scene, but this framing for a car commercial, this framing for an ad, this framing for a picture, a page in a magazine, not enough of the car. I need to see a little bit of the 3/4 on the car. I need to see the body styling along this side. I need to see what the rims look like. And a little bit of a lower stance still. You could go even lower to make the car a little bit more predominant. This is a good swing. I appreciate the fact that you're trying something new. I want to see maybe more edits from this scene. And remember, use intelligent imitation. Find references of how this Hyundai, this exact model is being shot, so you can give the exact same stance when you're shooting it. Because again, when we're trying to do stuff out of our head, like this is so close, but still you missed. So again, Courtney, you're a great shooter. I believe in you. I believe in what you're doing. I just want to see you push the envelope a little bit further. It's Courtney Turner, everybody. Courtney says he's going to show me, so he's got some good horizontals. All right. Amond, appreciate you being in chat. This is Victor Liska. All right, again, this is lifestyle on location. One of the hardest things to shoot. This is shot with a Sony A7 II with a Minolta 24mm 2.8, shot at ISO 100, f11 at 1/500th of a second with 2 strobes. This is Mr. Klasnia, Victor, or is this Alex? Alexander Klasnia. Alex. All right, Alex. Let's have a look. Alexander Klasnia. Alex. Thanks for submitting. So, architecturally, good light, good idea. Let's see what this looks like as a cover. Lifestyle photography is difficult when you're shooting architecture, but capture-wise, idea-wise, I like this image. I like this image. This is strong. Let me show you this as an 8x10. This is framed well. As an 8x10, it's balanced. Again, when you're aiming up, it becomes a little bit tricky to line up your lines this way. I can see that you're lining it up, obviously, this way. But again, it's hard when you're doing wide angle and you're aiming up and you're shooting buildings, but this is a beautiful scene. It's a beautiful scene. It's a good effort. This is well focused. It frames well. Does it fall into like a lifestyle? I would love to see a person walking through here, even if it's out of focus. I'd love to see you incorporate people within your architectural photography, even if it's slow shutter speed at some point. This is a good swing. Thanks for submitting. Alexander Klasnia. Alec. All right. This is Nakumba Booker Jr. Nakumba, first paid photo shoot, shot with the Canon M500 or M50 with the 50 millimeter. Shot at ISO 160 f5 at a 200th of a second. Mr. Booker has to upgrade at some point from the M50. Let's see what Mr. Nakumba Booker Jr. is doing. Lifestyle on location. Nakumba Booker Jr. Lifestyle is hard to nail. For me, this is a little posed. Again, regular people in regular locations, photographed in a stylized way. The way that she's holding her hands like this, head tilt, looking at camera, it's more of a fashion picture than it is a lifestyle picture. She has to be not paying attention to the camera. She has to be like literally interacting with some of these flowers or picking some of these flowers the way that her hands are. She's just posing, and the way that her face is just posing. So again, lifestyle is hard to nail. Exposure on her face is a bit under. Oops, wrong tool. Exposure here, I'm going to call under like a third to a half a stop. And the retouching is not what we do to skin Nakumba. We've talked about the blur tool and how we don't use it. We've talked about having a tablet, talked about frequency separation. This is not how skin looks. You can't just take the blur tool and just like blur away stuff that you don't want to be there. If you look at what her nose looks like where you didn't use the blur tool, that's what her whole skin looks like down here, over here, and over here. So you need to learn how to retouch properly in order to make, in order to make this work. I can see everywhere where you're not using the blur tool and everywhere that you are. So for me, you went blur tool crazy on this photo, and it's just not how we retouch in 2025. It's just not how we do it. You're in Portfolio Lab. A couple of weeks ago, probably a month ago, we did a full retouching workshop, how to do frequency separation, how to retouch, why it's important to use a tablet. We went step by step through how to do it. For me, this is not it. So Nakumba, there's a couple of things. Number one, this is not a lifestyle picture. And again, you need to have references and look at what lifestyle photography looks like, so you're not doing something that's so posy. And then the second part is the retouching. You really have to be light with your retouching and skin retouching, we do not use the blur tool. That is not a thing. It hasn't been a thing for like 15 years. So please, 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 please stop. This one's a bit of a miss, and it's a bit of a miss for a couple of reasons. And again, the other thing that I want to reiterate is the exposure. This is underexposed by about half a stop. So a couple of things to lock in. Keep shooting, keep submitting, but the next time that you submit, the next time that you shoot a pretty face like this, I want to see a level up in what you're doing with your post-production. You can't send me another blur tool photograph. It's just not, it's not a thing. Thanks for submitting. All right, that is Nakumba Booker Jr. Nakumba. All right, next submitter. But before we talk about that, you want to? I just want to teach you guys a little bit about commercial photography and why commercial photography and lifestyle photography work so hand in hand. Like clients want us to be producing believable content, believable moments, and that elevates their brand. I've been shooting lifestyle photography for like quite a few years. Like I would say probably 30 years. I've been doing lifestyle photography for that long. And there's so many different ways to touch on lifestyle photography, but I'm going to show you when the work is actually used and the type of poses that are used and how natural it feels when you're shooting lifestyle photography. Like sometimes it's a little bit over stylized, like this say yes to the dress, but for the most part, it has like an element, a real undertone. It's almost an overtone of real. Like it's so important to learn how to nail that overtone of real when it comes to posing our subjects. Lifestyle photography is one of the most important things to nail, because once you're able to nail lifestyle photography, well, the sky's the limit. This is the hardest type of idea and execution that you'll ever get asked to do, lifestyle photography. And I shoot a lot of it, and it is really, it's hard to nail, and especially lifestyle photography on location. The posing, the expressions are so important to make it feel natural. Lifestyle photography, I will say again, you can't just pose it. You can't, like, it has to be way more deliberate, and it demands reps. It demands reps. And the reason that I continually give lifestyle photography assignments is it makes you a better photographer, and it crosses over into commercial work. As I'm showing you right now, lifestyle photography crosses over into commercial work so beautifully, but you're never going to get these jobs if you don't know how to shoot it for yourself, if you don't know how to show it in your portfolio for yourself. Lifestyle photography, it's a gateway. It's a gateway into commercial photography. It's a gateway into day rates, and it's a gateway into getting published and to seeing your work in print. I remind you, time and time again, print is the highest frequency when it comes to photography. Print is the highest use case when it comes to your photography. If you've never been published, if you've never been chosen to be published in a magazine, or you've never printed something and shown it in a gallery, or you've never made a coffee table book, or you've never been asked to shoot a cover or advertising, this is what I'm teaching you how to get into right now. So it's hard, but it's so rewarding. I'm very passionate about it, but not every time. You're not going to hit every time. I don't hit every time, which is why I do tons of reps. And when I'm shooting, I shoot thousands of images. So commercial photography and lifestyle photography work hand in hand. And I'm here to help you get into doing both of them at the top 1% level. All right. Let's see who our next photographer is. Our next photographer is Jean-Laurie Beaumont. Jean-Laurie Beaumont. All right. This is shot with a Sony A7 IV with a 135 millimeter ISO 800 f2.5 at a 2000th of a second shot natural light. This is Laurie Beaumont. Do I call you, or it's John? Sorry, I'm Jean-Laurie Beaumont. Thank you, Amand. Jean-Laurie Beaumont. Some of these new names. All right, Jean-Laurie. Let's have a look. This is your lifestyle on location. Let's get it on. Jean-Laurie Beaumont. This is good. I like this a lot. This is unequivocally a yes for me. This is a yes. Like, the light is a yes. The location is a yes. The understatedness at, like, the understated pose, his outfit. Let's just make sure that this holds up with all of my necessary crops. This definitely works for me as a cover. I like this a lot as a cover. And the dappled light in this situation, the mixed light in this situation, which I'm always telling you not to do, this works because where he's lit works. And where he's not lit, oops, wrong tool. Where he's not lit works. So the light works here and the light works also in the shadow detail. This is just so strategic as far as the placement. Very strategic as far as the placement. Like the tattoos, there's good exposure in both the shadow detail and the highlight detail. Let's look at what this looks like as an 8x10. It feels just the touch more claustrophobic with the 8x10. It feels a little bit more offset this way, and obviously not quite as balanced between here and here when you look at it as an 8x10. When I look at the whole frame, I do appreciate it. I feel like you can't move him and change the light, right? Because his light here is perfect, but you can step this way. You can offset yourself, John, this way. So you're able to get a little bit more of this leading line behind him and get him a little bit more centered up. Again, it still works. It still works for me. His feet are a little claustrophobic to the bottom here. Like, excuse me. You're going to lose like 1/8 of an inch all the way around the frame when you go to print. So if I give you a true like 1/8 of an inch around this, you can see, oops, let me just move this up just a bit. You can see how you're now getting really claustrophobic to the toes. And again, it cuts all of that. So when you're going to print, you're going to lose a little bit here. So watch your framing, John, here. But other than that, this is unequivocally a yes for me. Well done. Location, lifestyle on location. Great spot. Again, just give yourself just a little bit more room. Back up like half a step and take a step to the right so you can center him just a little bit more and take him off the bottom. But it's a yes. It's a yes for me. Well done, John Lodi Beaumont. Thanks, John. All right. This is Natalie Shalem. Natalie says that this is a first attempt. Sorry, let me just go straight to I'm trying to not read everybody's text because I already take a long time to go through these photos. So let's just go straight to camera. Show with the Sony A7R5 with a 35 millimeter ISO 100 f11 at 1/4000th of a second. This is Natalie Shalem. Natalie, trying to get into my accelerator. Natalie, shooting lifestyle on location. Natalie, thank you for submitting. Again, I know you're dabbling in shooting sport. The light I really like here. The light I like. I'm going to look at this a little bit closer because I do see a little bit of vignetting. It looks like you've darkened the subject just a little bit. Let's have a look at... just go easy with the darkening, and if you're doing it without a tablet, like there's just a little bit of ghosting that's happening around here because you're making all of this, it feels like you're making this dark. If you're not making this dark, okay, watch your exposure and don't go too dark so that doesn't happen. But overall, Natalie, this is a good swing as a lifestyle picture. He's not on the water. He's like practicing, kinda. And I'm not sure if this is a stylized moment or this is something that he's doing like out of the water. So again, with lifestyle, you have to really work on not faking it and having it be like a natural thing. He's on like a stand-up paddleboard. Can you put him in the water with the stand-up paddleboard and execute this picture? And if the answer is no, well then why would he be standing and looking like he's balancing when he's just standing on the beach? So in this case, then it's you have him holding the stand-up paddleboard on one side and holding the paddle on the other side and have him walking towards the water, and then you show the same silhouette with him about to go do the thing that he's kind of pretend doing here. So I've seen some of your work. You're new to submitting. I want to see you continue to submit. I love the idea. I love the light. I love the pushing the horizon line down. So you're not going through anything too important. Could have pushed the horizon even lower. It's about now what he's doing here and just being on the beach and him posing as if he's in the water. For me, that's what's taking me out of this moment. So how do you make a picture with him with his paddle, the paddleboard on the beach with the water in the foreground that you can do over and over and over again? For me, it's him walking out of the water like he just paddled, walking towards you, or walking towards the water. But it can't be static, because that makes this feel really much like a pose. I hope that helps. That is Natalie Shalem. Thank you for submitting. Well done, Natalie. Good shit. All right. So we are down into our last 5 photos. This is Israel Cordona III. Israel shot this at ISO, with a Canon R6 Mark II with a 24 to 105. 24 to 105. Yeah, that's a lens that it's hard for me to wrap my head around that lens. 24 to 105. Shot at 105. And ISO 100 f6.3 at 400th of a second. Natural light. This is Israel Cordona III. Israel lifestyle on location. Israel Cordona III. Lifestyle on location. Yeah, this is a yes for me. It's the right light. It's the right moment. And they're not playing to you. It's just a lifestyle moment. And again, you could have shot the heck out of this moment. Look at what this moment looks like as a horizontal. Look at what this moment looks like. Let me hide my face. Look at what this moment looks like as a horizontal. You could have shot the heckers out of this. Look at this moment as a horizontal where you're punched in closer. As a vertical, you absolutely killed it. It definitely works as a vertical. You can see it as a cover. And I like how you're playing with scale. You're showing me a bit of the scene. Obviously, this is a hiking moment. I like the fact that she has the phone. He's got his hat. And the light on his face as he's interacting, the fact that she's paying attention to him, it just works. And you're giving me context as to how far they've hiked from. They got themselves up here. They're wearing the right footwear. She's styled great. He's styled great. This is a yes. Unequivocally, this is a very natural location lifestyle picture that is believable, that there's brands attached to. Yes, Israel Cordona, this is yes. You nailed it. Let me just show you what this looks like as an 8x10. It frames well. It frames well as an 8x10. And again, the reason that it's important for me to talk so much about print is the highest frequency of photography. Anyone can shoot something and throw it on the internet, but not everyone can shoot something and it appear in a magazine. So I'm trying to teach you how to shoot stuff that would work in a magazine, that would work in a print ad, that you would see in a billboard or in at some sort of crazy ad space, like in a subway. This is why I also talk about horizontals. This is why I talk about where the gutter drops. This particular assignment is a vertical assignment, which is why I show you this is what this image could look like if you shared this to Instagram. This is what this image would look like if it was a magazine cover. So again, this works well. You framed this, Israel, so well. Again, I'm giving you an 11 again in case it didn't register the first time. Simple, and very, very, very well executed. Again, I try to give really positive but true feedback. Positive but honest feedback that if you take what I'm telling you to heart and then go execute the next time out, your photographs are going to be better. The whole idea, and this is hard because as photographers, we love photography. I love photography. The hard part is once you're trying to make a living at photography, it no longer is as much about you as much as it is about potential clients, the industry standards, and what has been proven to work time and time again for decades. Like, so it's hard. Once you start getting into like trying to work, well, then the standards have to now go way higher. And if you have emotional attachment to your photographs, oh, but I really like it. I love that photo. What happens when an art director or a designer or a photo editor or a client is like, sorry, I'm not feeling that photo. What else do you have? Well, now are you going to cave into a ball and, oh my God, what am I going to do? It's like, no, it's like, okay, what is it about this photo that you're not liking? And how can we shift this idea into something that works more for the layout of the magazine? Like, it's just mathematics, and it's about doing it in a positive way. So you're like, okay, I see exactly what you're saying. I appreciate that. Now let's shift how I'm executing this. So we both have the vision and we're both happy, because if you play hardball with a client and it's like, no, this is the way that it is. This is the way that I love it. You don't know what you're talking about. Cool. You'll just never work for that magazine again. Like, they're just not going to call you because you're not flexible. And you're so sensitive that someone can't tell you, like, this isn't hitting the mark for me. If someone says that to you and you're like, that shouldn't be your be all end all. Number one, I'm just one opinion. And number two, although I am a valid opinion with 35 years experience of working in a way that you're hoping to, it's all from in a positive light. I'm all telling you in a positive way. I have 4 coaches now. I just hired a 4th coach. I have a business coach, a marketing coach, a creative coach, and a strategist. And like, my creative coach there's no filter. It's just, what the F is this? That is my, oh, hi. How are you? And it's like, what are you doing here? Not feeling it, not feeling it, not feeling it, not feeling it. Like 4 of them. And I'm like, okay, bro, but this is why, and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, but this, it's beneath you. It lowers your brand. It lowers what we're trying to build with you. I think you should ditch it. And it's like, okay. And then I let it go. And it's not like, yeah, but it's just like, no, he's fighting for the fact that image should not be in my portfolio. So it's so important to have people like that in your life that care so much about your success that they're willing to tell you the truth. Not necessarily, again, it's all objective. You can agree or disagree, but Tim, I respect his opinion. He is like a world-class, award-winning art director who works for massive advertising agencies. So when he tells me something that he's not feeling, it's gone. You know what I mean? So, but from him, I'm like, can you give me a little bit of like more love when you are feeling stuff? And he's like, what, am I your mother? Am I your pops? You need me to give you hugs when you're doing good shit? No, I just tell you when you're pissing me off. Wow. But again, it's like, this guy loves me. And like 2 years with Tim, like the 2 years with Tim and Michael, my business coach and my creative coach, I signed a 2-year deal with Canon, becoming their first brand ambassador before Peter McKinnon. So I trust them. So it's important to have people who can see your work in a way that you can't see it from an outside perspective, because sometimes we're too close to our own photographs. All right. Some, like a photographer, we shoot this stuff, but sometimes we pick the wrong frame as far as the one that's the final. Like, we shot it, and then I will look at your Lightroom library or your Capture One library, and I'm like, oh my God, how come you're not using that? And it's like, really? And it's like, oh my God, you're completely like, we lost it in the edit. Like, you don't see the best photos. Like, you, the person who shot these amazing photos, is picking the wrong one. So, like, I have all of these ways to help photographers who are part of Portfolio Lab. I have peer groups, like peer reviews. So essentially, before it comes to me, you have a chance to put 3, 4, 5, 6 images in peer review to see what my team and other people in Portfolio Lab think about which one should be the final picture. So people helping you with the edit part, because photographers are often not great at the edit part. So people helping with retouching. When you're throwing a picture out there that's your final, they're going to be like, hey, Nick's going to be like, dude, let me teach you how to do frequency separation, because like, oh my God, or watch this workshop. Here it is. Here's the link because it's done already. Watch this workshop and learn how to do frequency separation. All right, let's get into my accelerator members. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4 people in my accelerator. Starting with Doyle Daniels. Doyle's shooting with the Nikon Z8 with a 24 to 120 millimeter. Shot at ISO 64 at 60 millimeter at f6.3 at an 80th of a second on a tripod. 80th of a second on a tripod with 3 lights. This is Doyle Daniels. Doyle. Yeah, I like Doyle. Lifestyle on location. I want you to be pushing your light in a different way. I want you to be pushing your light a little bit harder. I love what you did with this set, but some of your images, some of the light is just a little bit too flat. You can see there's like no real shadow. It's relatively frontal. There's a little bit of like modeling sort of in detail in here. There's no shadow. I got that. For me, I'm like, what does it look like when there's a light back here? And you're pushing, and again, you're saying you're using a 3 light setup. So I'm seeing 1 light pushing up here, right? But there's no like separation or like highlight on him. I'm seeing the light that's in the front, and then maybe there's like another light that you're pushing like over here. You're lighting the scene in a way that's, you're just erasing everything. There's no ratios. So the light that's here is the same exposure as up here. And it's the same exposure that's back here. And it's the same exposure as over here. And it's the same exposure that's over here. And it's the same exposure that's over here. Like, that doesn't happen in life ever. So we as photographers have to use ratios. We're going to say, you know what? I want the light to come in on him like really dim, and mostly like it's coming from over his shoulder. And then I'm going to throw a little bit of a splash like up here, but just a little bit. And I'm going to let the rest of the scene dark. So how we do ratios is really important. Is this lifestyle on location? Yes. Is this a great photograph? Yes. Am I trying to push you into a new realm with what you're doing with light, Doyle Daniels? Yes. Yes, you're a capable, competent photographer, but what's going to take you to the next level? And again, this is very good, very easy, very nice light. Got to catch this little hair that's out of his shirt there. But what's going to take this to the next level is you see this ever so slight, like I literally have to zoom way up here to see, oh, he does have a little bit of a highlight coming in from the background. Oh, there is just a little bit of a highlight coming in. Oh, there is just a little bit of a rim on the back, but it's not enough. It's not enough because when you look at it at here, you don't see it at all. It's actually like that extra little bit of backlighting. Like this needs to be way more bold. And I feel like that's going to make your lighting, your vibe, your feeling when you're shooting on location hit way harder. This is still a killer location, lifestyle on location picture. It's killer. I love your use of scale. One of my favorites of this entire set. You shot this very well. But again, Doyle, you are here. I'm trying to push you into the top 1%. And the only way that happens is if I continually push you and challenge you and also praise you. So I'm trying to do all three of those things in this photograph. Well done, Doyle Daniels. And again, it's an 11. Don't get it twisted. I'm just trying to make you just crack it out. Very well done. Very well done. That's Doyle Daniels. Again, Doyle is in my accelerator program. And the people who are in my accelerator program, I like to nudge them. I like to push them because they end up being, this is what I mean. Let's look at Doyle Daniels. So you actually can see the photographer that I'm helping to build. And you can see what the portfolio looks like and what his light looks like in scenes like this, which is all I'm asking for. And I know that you do it and you've done it and I've seen it. So again, your light, your use of light, you have such a great touch. Your use of interesting light. So I'm always trying to push you into new realms. And I see that you're doing something here with light. But yeah, Doyle, proud of you, my guy. But just to show you, this is how far this man has come with me, in a year, let's say, a bit over a year, the amount of work. And he works full time. And he is a full-time photographer, when he can. And he's doing almost $2,000 a month while he works 7 days a week at another job. And he's creating all this work. So I love using Doyle as an example because it's once you know the 6 steps, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, phase 6, and how to get everything in those phases working for you. Once that happens, you know what to do every day. And even if you have half an hour, even if you have 30 minutes, even if you have an hour, you know exactly what you can do in that hour that's going to move your needle forward. So, yeah, Doyle sees the matrix, and seeing his work develop over the time that he's been with me has been really, really great. It's Doyle Daniels. Doyle, thanks for submitting. All right. Charles Fortin. Charles Fortin is another photographer who's in my accelerator program. Charles is a tree planter. He is a manager of many tree planters. And he started in my accelerator, I want to say at the beginning of the year, January. But knowing that come summer, he was going to have to go back to the tree planting business. But during this short time, he's put together an insane portfolio. Charles, you really can't really describe his work. Charles shot this with a Sony A7 IV with shot at ISO 125 f3.2 at 200th of a second natural light. This is Mr. Charles Fortin. Charles, thanks for submitting. Lifestyle on location. Charles, the light is right. The mood is right. I mean, there's a little bit of haze. It'd be beautiful to see a little bit of light kicked in, but I also know what your work looks like, and I know how hard your work hits. Just letting your website load here, Charles, which is taking a very long time. Not sure why. Yeah, that's weird, Charles. Your site is not, there it is. Well, we're going to load the other version, the Pixpa version. This is Charles Fortin. He's an outdoor adventure photographer, lifestyle, it's so, like, he's a lifestyle photographer, like outdoor adventure, sport. Like, his work is brilliant, and his ideas and his executions are brilliant. Charles, because I know what your work looks like, and you have lifestyle pictures like this in your portfolio, everything that you're doing, the bar is so high. The bar for you is so high when it comes to lifestyle photography, because you shoot it so naturally well. Like, you shoot it so naturally well. Like, lifestyle on location. You get it. It, like, this is your wheelhouse. So because lifestyle on location is your wheelhouse in such a radical way, and your bar is so high, like, I now, like, because of that, now I'm seeing an image like this and being like, yeah, is it as crazy as Charles Fortin shoots though? Is it this? Is it as good as this? Like, if I just run through all of your lifestyle images and I say to myself, like, all your lifestyle verticals, like, this is product lifestyle photography. Looks super natural. There's a bunch of brands that it, like, he makes these photographs in a way that's like super real. Like, this guy murders lifestyle photography. And again, Charles, in my accelerator, like, and I'm helping develop this photographer into this type of photographer. So again, Charles, I ask you again, looking at this picture, is this picture as strong? Does it fit? And for me, it fits in a way, but there's a haze here that you don't usually do. There's an exposure in the foreground that you don't like. It's a little blue that you don't like. There's a couple of things here that really make me wonder, is this strong enough to be your post? And it's only because, like, your bar is up here, which is where I try to bring everybody. Because of that, not every one of your submissions are going to be something that deserves to be in your book, because I have this to compare it to. Because I have this to compare it to. Because I have this to compare it to, Charles Fortin. Your bar is so high. Like, you shoot location lifestyle so well, and it's so real, and it's so genuine, and there's no ego, there's no bullshit. It's just real. You do this so well that not every photo makes it to your book, because again, your bar is so high. Like, look at these pictures that I'm just pulling. So light, exposure, idea. For me, this one, it's close. It's still an 11, but I'm not sure if it's as good as other selections that I just showed the class. Whew, that was Charles Fortin. And Mr. Leslie Carty is next. Leslie is my actual brother, shooting with the Canon T3i 50mm ISO 100 f 5.6 at 120 of a second. This is Leslie Carty. Let's look at what my brother's doing. Big bro, lifestyle on location. This hits. This is close, Les, as far as showing your work, showing your, showing the paint. My brother is a custom car painter. Lifestyle on location is tricky, Les. There's just a couple of things that we're missing here. Okay, ISO 250. Seeing this gentleman, I want to see more of him, and I want you to not cut his feet. The shoes are a very important part of branding. And in this case, it's either just don't show this guy at all or show more of him. You're kind of right in between here. To watch how close you are with the tire, how close that is to the edge of the frame. You lose 1/8 of an inch when you go to print, and looking at this where I'm cropping 1/8 of an inch, you can see now when this goes to print how close that is to the edge of the frame. Now you're actually touching the frame. Because you're trying to keep this gentleman in here, again, this is your work. Just ask this guy, because you're shooting, to just, hey, step out of the way for a second so you can then center this frame up and show a little bit more of this truck. It's close though, Les. It's close. For me, this is a good swing. It's centered well. It's centered well. You can see where you're standing. You have this centered and this centered, but it gets hard up here because you're not hitting this exactly straight. You're hitting at it from a bit of an angle. Oops. But it's still less a really good swing. The truck looks good. It's a really good attempt. The paint looks good. And again, you're not a photographer first. Like, you're a fine art painter, an airbrush artist, a custom car paint. Like, there's so many artistic things in art. You're an artist, pure. You need photography in order to help sell the work that you do, specifically the paint work that you do on these very elite classic cars. I'm just here trying to make you the best photographer possible for shooting this stuff so it sells you in a perfect way. Maybe you have a frame where this gentleman is in here. I'd love to see it without him. Thanks so much, bro. That's Les Carty. And again, this is an 11 for you. Because again, we leveled up here. We leveled up here. And I know a new frame, a new camera is in your future. Leslie Carty. My last photographer is Mr. Calligraphy Ridgely. Calligraphy, shooting with a Nikon Z8 with an 85mm, shot at f2 at 1/8 of a second at ISO 100, shot natural light. This is calligraphy shooting location lifestyle. Calligraphy. Thanks for submitting. And it's a self-portrait of calligraphy. Again, it's tricky. This, for me, passes because it works like for social. It work like there's instances where strong, competent, well-shot images of you work within. Like, this should be on your site. This should be in your social, like your main photo. Watch what you're doing in post, because I'm seeing a little bit of extra back here in your, like, you're going way too far with post. We've talked about it. Okay. We've talked about what you do in Photoshop a lot. We've talked about how you go too far. You have to recognize, like, the filters that you're using and the way that all of this is doubling. That's what you're doing in Lightroom. So although it's not quite as obvious here, you are doing a lot of like shadow recovery. You're sliding the shadow slider really far, because it's showing me like your skin detail here plus like the shadow detail here. Like, this up here is too bright. It's too bright in the shadows. And it's like, and also you can see here, oops, sorry. you can see here, like this extra line that's happening around up here. Like you see it right here, right? All of this, everything that's happening up here is what you're doing in post. All of this and all of this. And it's 8-bit instead of 16-bit. So that's also giving you rastering in the background. Like, look at the lines that are coming down here. Line, line, line. You have a very expensive Nikon the 8. It's not supposed to look like this. And the only reason that it does is what you're doing in post. So you have to be gentle in Photoshop. You have to be gentle in Lightroom. And I've suggested this before. Lots. Calligraphy. Watch your centering. It's very biased this way. There's lots of extra room here where you could just cut here and just include a little bit more. Watch what you're doing in post, Kay. This is a great shot, but you're going too far in Lightroom. I'm begging you to pull way back. Okay? Good swing. And again, subject matters that aren't you help you when you're shooting lifestyle on location. It's hard for you to do that and it also be you. All right. So those are all of my photos. So I am first going to give you my, what I believe to be photos of the week, the best swings of the day. Give me a moment to pick what I feel is the best lifestyle location lifestyle photos, starting with this photographer right here. Photo of the week goes to Mr. Victor Liska. Victor, that is a photo of the week. Lifestyle location, lifestyle on location, Carty approved photo of the week. Congratulations, you did very well. That is Victor Liska. That is our first photo of the week. Photos of the week are hard for me to choose, you know, because there's a lot that we're up against when it comes to this type of photography. But again, I'm also learning about these new photographers. I'm also seeing some of these photographers for the first time. All right. Photo of the week. Lifestyle location. This is Marlon Stewart. Marlon, good swing for your first attempt and your first submission. Photo of the week. Keep submitting. Looking forward to seeing more from you. All right, it's Marlon. Next. Okay. Another photo of the week. Mr. Alexander Klasnia. Photo of the week, Alexander. Alex, I want to keep seeing you swinging and keep seeing you trying. This is a very good attempt. It's a photo of the week. Alexander Klasnia. All right. Photos of the week. Lifestyle on location. Yes. Photo of the week going to Mr. Courtney Turner. Courtney. Again, there's a lot of things that I had to say about this photo. I know you heard every one of them, but still, this is a photo of the week. I know that this is the beginning of something, and I really do appreciate that you're trying something new. Everything here is working except for the things that I told you that weren't. But still, it deserves accolades. Well done. Well done. That was Mr. Courtney Turner. Courtney. All right. All right. All right. This next photographer winning photo of the week is John Laurie Beaumont, photo of the week. Well done, John. This killed it. I had a lot to say about this photo, but overall, it's a very difficult picture with difficult lighting conditions, but you actually made this picture sing. Congratulations. That's a photo of the week. Well done, John. All right. John Laurie Beaumont. This photographer, again, lifestyle on location is difficult, but I think this photographer really did a great swing. This is a photo of the week from Natalie Shalem. Natalie. Very good swing, Natalie. It's a photo of the week. Again, remember everything that I said, but this is a good swing. Natalie Shalem. Good stuff, Natalie. All right. Photo of the week. Photo of the week. Photo of the week for this photographer, Israel Cordona III. Photo of the week, Israel. Very great. Very great. Very great. That is a photo of the week for you. Very well executed. Israel Cordona III. This is another lifestyle on location photo of the week. This is Mr. Doyle Daniels. Doyle, that's a photo of the week, my guy. Again, I'm always just trying to nudge you. And again, you know I'm such a good nudger. You're doing very well, though, my guy. That is Mr. Doyle Daniels. Doyle Daniels, photo of the week. Well done. All right. And this photographer I haven't seen for a minute. And again, it's like hard on this shooter. But again, it's the vision that I believe for photographers that participate. This one, his name is Charles Fortin. Charles, photo of the week. Photo of the week. It's going to go in your book, but it's not going to be there for long. Because again, like you're going to shoot something that is just similar, but it just hits just a little bit harder. But still, this is killer. And I miss seeing your photos so regular. All right. And again, couple more. This photo of the week goes to my brother. You know him as Leslie Carty. Les, photo of the week. Again, I'm judging you against you. This holds, bro. This holds. Proud of you and proud of your progress. That is Mr. Leslie Carty. And our last photo of the week goes to this man. You know him as the one word calligraphy. Calligraphy. The one word name. Calligraphy. That's a photo of the week. Again, I know all the things that you're up against. Remember everything that I said about post-production. This is an image that I started off saying is very strong and that you can use in your social media. Also, remember, you can't always shoot yourself. So find some new subject matter. I know you just moved to a new state, so I'm giving you some grace. This is calligraphy. All right. So we have some upcoming. Those are photos of the week, everybody. Yay. We have some people, we have some assignments coming up, and you should know. We have also, it's Thursday. So Thursdays, we do a Zoom workshop. Zoom workshops are so imperative. They happen every Thursday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. They happen every Thursday at 2:30 p.m. The only way to get access is to be inside Portfolio Lab or in my Accelerator or Pro Lab, like if you're in my system, starting with Portfolio Lab, you get access to me every Thursday. If you're in Accelerator, you get access to me every Sunday and every Thursday. Super, super beneficial. Today is no different. And again, we do so much sick stuff in these workshops. Make sure that you're there for today. Next, next week's assignment, next Thursday, which is the exact following Thursday from today. I'm not sure the exact date, but next Thursday, we're looking at your niche at night. Your niche at night, and shooting at night is something that I love to do. It's one of the hardest things to do. Shooting your niche in a super high-end professional way that would sell a client on your technique, your style, your lighting ability. Your niche at night. That's what I'm looking at next week, Thursday. It's due Wednesday, midnight Eastern time, my time. That's next week. 2 weeks from now. Next week, by the way, is week 37. Okay. For week 38, which is the week after that, I'm asking you to shoot a simple cover. So we are looking at simple cover photographs. Whether you shoot people, places, or things, you should know how to shoot a cover. I'm going to be looking at your cover assignments. And today, in today's workshop, we're talking about when you shoot, it's important to shoot in a systematic way. I shoot in a very systematic way. I'm going to show you my Lightroom libraries, and I'm going to show you one after another, after another, after another. You're going to see photo shoot after photo shoot after photo shoot, and the systematic way that I shoot my photos, and how I shoot like a cinematographer. And a cinematographer shoots always wide, then medium, then close. I always, in every single idea that I have, I start wide and I shoot 50 frames wide until I nail that. Then I punch in and I shoot medium, shoot 50-ish frames medium. Then I shoot close, where I'm looking for like chest up and sometimes even very hyper close pictures. And then I always throw in horizontal double page spreads. So I do that with every look, and I'm going to be talking about why you also, irregardless as to what you shoot, whether you're shooting portraits, places, or things, that you need to shoot wide, medium, and close of every idea that you have. And I'm going to show you how I do it. That's the workshop today. And of course, understand that member support, you're becoming a member here on this channel, hitting the join button is actually how this whole thing works. Like, I don't make a lot of money from ads. You can imagine I make next to nothing from ads. So all of the money comes from memberships. So I have a very active membership. I'm trying to get to the point where if I get 1,000 members, I'd never have to have commercials on this channel at all. There'd be never any ads. I keep all of my live streams commercial free while I'm live. As soon as I'm not live, now there's ads on there because I have to make a little bit of money. The members of this channel make it so I don't have to have ads during my live streams. The more members I get, the less ads I have to have on my channel and the less ads I have to run. YouTube is a business and it doesn't make a ton of money. I put a ton of effort in here, but I'm in for the long game. I'm hoping that you're here with me for the long game. Hey, greetings, Iran. Welcome. Thanks for watching me. I appreciate you. Guys, I'm emphatically passionate about helping you get to the next level with your photography. I've given you the next couple of assignments. Again, if you're in Portfolio Lab, you can find all of these assignments inside Community. If you want to access what we're about to be talking about this Thursday and every Thursday, we talk about something new, you got to be inside Portfolio Lab. Again, your niche at night, the full brief on your niche at night is going to be in Community. And also, you get to shoot a magazine cover. I'm so excited about this upcoming assignment for week 38, where I get to see your editorial magazine assignments. Guys, we're at the end of the show. I'm so excited about the stuff that we have coming up for you. I'm always trying to make this bigger, better, faster, stronger. Please know that the next round of my Professional Photographers Accelerator starts on September the 28th. Okay. I have a info session that I did last week that you can go to the cartymethod.com/accelerator. You can watch this info session. You can learn everything that you need to know to get into this next round, including how much it costs. The application is phase 0. If you watch this info session, I will give you a coupon code for 100% off phase 0. Do phase 0, submit it as per the instructions to accelerator@thecartymethod.com before the 20th of September. And then we're going to be telling the people who get accepted that week and sending you links to pay. Imagine, I at one point had 130-ish, 38 people on the waiting list who said that they wanted to get into my accelerator. But then I proposed phase 0. This is the work. This is the application that you need to complete in order to get into my accelerator. Again, 130 some odd people saying that they wanted to be a photographer and they wanted my help. Once I now provided work for them to do in order to apply, how many people out of that 138 people actually did the application, phase 0? How many? 17. You heard me going, yeah, no, not even in the 30s. 17 people did that application, and out of the 17, 13 got in. So in order for me to coach you, you have to prove that you can be coached. And how you prove that you can be coached is by doing phase 0. I don't want to deal with people who can't be coached. I can't help you. I definitely don't want you in my program pulling people down. I only bring in the elite. So if you're trying to be in my accelerator, go to thecartymethod.com/accelerator to watch the info session so you can get your butt in there. Hey, and Amond, back for 19 months. Thank you, Amond, for becoming a member again. The support that I get from the people who watch. Ammon is in my cartel. Ammon is my shorts editor. Ammon is, he does so much for me. And he was also in my notes, keeping me on track. Appreciate you, Ammon. Appreciate you for becoming a member for 19 months. Guys, I hope today brought you value. Understand this, there is no me without you. I know all this stuff. It becomes way more fun when you're leaving me messages, when you're leaving comments, when you're sharing my information, when you're sharing my videos, when you're making clips and sharing it to your networks. You have no idea how much that helps. If you're trying to help me get to 50,000 subscribers, which we're almost there. We're almost there. We're like less than 8,000 subscribers away from 50,000. And then soon after, 100,000. Tell a friend. Thank you so much for watching. I hope today brought you value.
This commercial-free live stream was brought to you by the members of this channel. If it wasn't for you, we'd have to fill up these live streams with ads that would just interrupt the flow. The members of this channel make commercial-free content during these live streams possible. Consider becoming a member for $5 a month today to gain access to secret live streams, live chats, and to show your support with that crown badge next to your name. Sharing is caring. If this content has brought you value today, share it, clip it, post it to your socials. Curating and sharing helpful content makes you an expert, even if the content you're sharing isn't yours. Be a curator and share this content with your network. If you're an emerging or struggling photographer that's trying to break free from your current 9-to-5 grind and transition to the life of a working pro photographer, that's our obsession here at the Carty Method. Register, get the support you need. If you're alone and struggling at this craft, make sure you join the Carty Method community. You'll always find help in the show notes. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Find your creative and business genius with the Carty Method.
Remember, today during our weekly Zoom workshop, we are looking at photographs. I'm sharing some of my own photographs, and I'm talking specifically about the importance of shooting wide, medium, and close up with every single thing you do. It's the beginning of how you become an editorial, sought after photographer. But you need to learn how to shoot it. I can't wait to talk about it. And again, this is exclusive content for Portfolio Lab, Accelerator, and Pro Lab members. Hope to see you there.